All right, so I'm going off the cuff here. I was thinking about this thing in the bathroom this morning, so hopefully the words that I had then when I was speaking to myself about it are as good as they are now. But if not, no big deal. Also, if you can hear a little bit of a congestion in my voice, I've been sick the past couple days, so sorry if that sounds weird. I feel somewhat congested and shitty. I haven't taken Tylenol in like so long, but past 2 days I've had to just to sleep properly. And while I'm speaking, I have this amazing mocha latte that I made that I'm gonna have to make a tutorial about, just like I did a year ago with my matcha latte tutorial. Anyway, with all that out of the way, I wanted to talk about a concept I've been thinking about recently, which has to do with not limiting yourself. And again, if I swallow and look weird, it's because my throat is bothering me. But not limiting yourself and letting yourself expand. So, what do I mean by this? Well, if you have interests, then pursue them or allow yourself to pursue them. Allowing is the big thing. Why am I saying this? I think most people would agree to this. Like, okay, I like doing certain things, I like certain things. I will do my best to, express my interest by watching the show or participating in this game, etc., etc. But I have found a little bit of a trap the past many years. I've had this like picture of like an ideal person in my mind who does X, Y, and Z activities, very restricted idea of someone who I want to be or think I want to be. And a lot of the things that I've been interested in throughout my life, this person in my mind, this like perfect image, doesn't do these things. Things like gaming, card games, not eating perfectly, all this shit, basically. All this shit that for some reason I just thought I wanted to be this person who was clean and like ideal as a human being. And for many years, it was very hard to even like attempt to do this because the moment I start taking away some of my favorite hobbies, like video games, my life just gets harder. Like I feel worse. I feel more contained, more concealed internally. So for many years, I've been on this cycle of like on and off, no video games, yes video games. Basically, like just okay, I found a really cool video game. Let me play this for a little bit with my friends. And then I finish the game. Okay, now I'm going to go back to nothingness, which is apparently the more ideal thing to do in my mind. This is just an example. Obviously, for you, it might be something else, but for me, video games has been the main thing. There's a few other examples which I'll talk about. But yeah, so what happened actually this year for the first time, I don't know what it was, if it was just confidence or courage or just stupidity, or I just felt shitty and it happened naturally anyway. I finally stopped with video games and even like YouTube and content in general. Like I started cutting it out, and it wasn't even really discipline. I was just like, I'm not doing it because my whole life I've been trying to not do these things. So fuck it, I'm just not gonna do it anymore. I think at first that was uh, seemed helpful because when you take away all these inputs, you do get more access to yourself internally at first, anyway. So I had a lot of internal, you can call it like processing or whatever. I felt like I was being productive with myself internally. This is what happens when people go on retreats. They go to a certain place or they do it at home, but generally they're on their own and they're removing inputs. And for certain periods of time, this can be extremely helpful because we are not just the people that we believe we are when we're in the world and doing all this shit every day and taking in all the information every day. We're not. So from time to time, having those sorts of periods where you're not ingesting all this material is really healthy. At a certain point, though, we live in this world. You don't have to come back. You could live in a monastery your whole life. You can live in a cave your whole life. But this world exists, this human world, this thing where we've made all this entertainment stuff and done all this cool stuff. Um, it exists. It is here. And for most people, when you're done with a retreat like that, you come back to reality, where you have a job, you have work, you have people, you have day to day stuff that is just not ideal. Ideal, right? This is the thing, like ideal. For me though, I at this point in time when I got rid of all these inputs, I had just moved to the city all on my own. I have no friends here, basically. I have, a cousin who lives in a city 40-minute train away. That's about it though. I don't have anybody here. So when I was finally ready to go out and do things in the world, once I was done with that like internal processing phase, I was very restrictive with myself. For some reason, I just decided to continue with this no input thing. No video games, no YouTube even. I was very restrictive or like only very selective with my YouTube videos, like the cleanest possible uh, YouTube videos. I wouldn't spend time with my online friends even in Discord. Wouldn't watch shows, like wouldn't do any of that shit. There's just this dryness to that. There's this like all my past 5 6 years, I've thought that when I take away all these inputs, then all of like the real stuff in me that I've wanted to feel for so long will start expressing itself. Well, again, it doesn't really work that way because we don't exist in a vacuum. We exist as part of all this stuff that's around us. So for me, I was kind of confused, like why am I not feeling like anything's changing? I've been disciplined now to remove all this input. I feel like shit. Just feel like dog shit. I even went on another retreat during this time period, and I didn't get much insight out of it because it was just a continuation of all this no input, no input stuff, which was very difficult for me. So during this time, there were a number of what I thought was like relapses. Relapses being like I just couldn't handle it. I played a video game one day, which made me feel better, you know? Very confusing. Like, okay, well, the excuse in my mind was like, if I'm playing this game, um, if I couldn't help myself to play this game and I feel better, it's because I'm blocking bad emotions. I had this notion in my head that like I just had to get through all these shitty emotions, um, basically, before having no inputs feels good again. Well, that was proved wrong. And the reason why, whenever I relapsed and played a video game or, for example, like watched a YouTube video, I felt better is because that was very stabilizing for me. That was very grounding for me to do those things that I wanted to do. Yeah, this went on like a couple months. I was on and off, started doing work in a job that I'm kind of like whatever with, and eventually just reached this like turning point where I relapsed again, watched a bunch of videos about this game, which looked really fun, but I wouldn't let myself play it. I just watched videos, and once I finished watching videos of it, I yeah, I was like in my mind, I did not allow myself to play it. So even though I was doing these things and occasionally like relapsing and watching videos and playing games occasionally, it was my intention not to, and that was the problem. So I reached this kind of tipping point where I just felt shitty all the time, and it just got out of hand. Like I felt so no inputs, and then doing a job every day that I was alone. Like I don't have coworkers with me. Just didn't enjoy the work. Imagine every single day you don't do things you enjoy for yourself. Then you do your work, which you don't enjoy, and you don't really have any social interactions. Not only are you going to feel like shit, but I think biologically that's pretty dangerous. That's like a dangerous situation to be in. That's not healthy. So I kind of got back to my senses. I asked close mentor friends for some help. Um, and then I slowly started getting back into things. For one, I started getting back into BJJ, which I haven't done in like 3 years, but I started taking some classes again. Instantly, social input grounded me and didn't feel like emotionally better, but like I didn't feel like I was going insane, you know? That was one thing. And then I brought in video games again. And that felt great at first. That felt really, really good. Just allowing myself to play games at first was great. It becomes this thing where I have this trap of like, um when I allow myself to do things, I become very narrow focused. Like in high school, I was very into basketball, and basketball was like my thing. And I just put all of my attention on it to the point where it just sucked. It just sucked. Like I was trying too hard and I wasn't allowing myself to do other things. Like I think I would have enjoyed volleyball or football, or other sports, but I didn't allow myself to because I thought that I had to focus entirely on basketball. So the thing when I was bringing back these new inputs, like uh, I was like, okay, BJJ fulfills that role for me. It fulfills the social role. It fulfills the hobby role. I'm just gonna focus on BJJ. And what do you know? The moment my intention flips and it's like all in on this one thing, everything closes. I feel shitty again. I feel closed off. I don't feel excited for it. And that's kind of what I'm saying here. I've been trying to figure out because I've had these like bursts of inspiration of like, whoa, I want to interact with the world. I want to do all these cool things. Um, but it's just been so hard for me to understand like why, what's like why am I interested in things and then all of a sudden, boom, I just feel like shit again. The reason is permission. It's allowing yourself to do things that you want to do. Thinking that you have to do just one thing or not do anything is very limiting. And that's what I mean by in the beginning of this video, I said like allowing yourself to expand or express. I don't remember the exact words I used, but if you're interested in shit, let yourself be interested. I'm not saying you have to pursue it because there's constraints, there's financial constraints, there's time constraints. For example, I'm interested in D&D. I think D&D is really fun, but I don't like committing to a weekly meeting. I don't like saying that every Saturday I'm gonna do this thing because that restricts my Saturdays to just that thing. That's a personal thing. Some people I think are fine with that, but that's an example of like, okay, I'm allowed to like D&D. That doesn't mean that I have to do it. There's many more examples, but like recently I've been okay allowing myself to like multiple interests that I've liked in the past. Like in the past, I really liked MTG, Magic the Gathering. I'm allowing myself to be curious of it again, not to focus entirely on it, like not to think that I have to choose one hobby. I can still do BJJ and still play Magic the Gathering and still play video games and still make videos and still stream. I think that's where the magic comes in, where you really allow yourself. A friend of mine who watches these videos sometimes, Jackson, he puts it this way. He says, you get to do these things. You don't have to, you get to. We're living in this world where there's so much cool shit you can do, inputs, right? Things that are external to you that you can involve yourself in that are just awesome. And you can choose to do them. Choosing doesn't mean I'm going to choose this thing and I'm going to commit to it. It means today I'm going to go to a BJJ class, or today I'm going to play Marvel Rivals, or today I'm going to go out and drink with my friends. It doesn't mean every single week or every single day you have to do this thing. That's not what choosing is. That's an egoic thing. And at least for me, I don't know about most people, but for me, that's proven very restrictive. And if anything, that's not choosing. That's like a discipline. And there's times in life where you need that. But I think for most of us, we also need, like biologically, to feel at our best and actually to be healthy. We need permission to be interested in what we want to be interested in and to pursue what we want to pursue. Now, there is the caveat. Um, in some cases, yes, taking an input does block you from negative emotion or even positive emotion that you're avoiding. But it's not just doing those things that blocks it. So let me explain. Like, for example, for me, playing video games has long been in this in between state where there's been times when I've been super inspired by it and super excited to play. Dark Souls, the Dark Souls series, for example, like gotten so much inspiration from that series that's carried me through like difficult moments in my life. Like when I've been really alone, the inspiration I've gotten from Dark Souls has been really helpful, really supportive for me. But on the other end, um, like there's been times where I've felt shitty. I've not wanted to take an input. I've wanted to just be on my own, but I was distracting myself with video games. So in my mind, there's this confusion of video games are bad because they block you from feeling. That's not entirely true. They can both block you from feeling and make you feel more, which is good. Uh, and that goes for, again, that goes for every input, every single input. Content on YouTube, TV shows, movies, social, people. People are an input. Food. These are all things that can either help you feel more or can block your feeling. So again, it's not that these things are good or bad, it's the right time and the right dosage. And that's kind of what I've been trying to say this whole time with this video is to allow yourself to be interested in things and to do things. Notice like there's times when yeah, you may want to have some white space, which is just space without any inputs. You might want to go for a walk, you might want to lie down, you might want to take a day off, just go on a day trip, drive somewhere, go into nature. All that's great, but these things aren't binary good or bad. There's a time and place for all these things. There's times to go on a retreat and retreat. That's what the word comes from. It's retreating from daily life. There's times to do that. And there's times to partake and involve yourself and feel fucking amazing with everything the world has to offer. The world has some very shitty things. Shitty things happen every day, but also great things happen every day, and the world has some great things too. And you as a human being, I don't like giving advice, but like in my mind, you should allow yourself to involve yourself in things you enjoy with the right dosage and the right situation that you enjoy it in. So yeah, that's about it. I think I expressed what I wanted to express, which is nice. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you later.